Come on in, welcome to my home. Today I thought I'd talk to you about the technology in my house that I use all the time to help make my house run easily. Now some of these things I have talked about in other videos, which I will link down below. I'll also try to remember to link those in the cards up there. But these are the things that I actually use all the time versus things that I have that I don't use all the time, or they're things that I use all the time that aren't necessarily in my house, but they're in my mother's house, which is right next door to me. We are actually connected. So yeah, let's get into this. One of the things that we're going to talk about, which is really the thing which connects almost all of these pieces together, is my Google Assistant, and what realistically is the Google Home Hub, Google Home Controller. I use this thing all the time, for big tasks like turning on and off the lights. Okay, Google, please turn on the kitchen lights.
Alright, turning 5 lights on.
Please turn off the kitchen lights.
Okay, turning off 5 lights.
To small tasks like asking silly questions like, how many days until the first day of spring?
Spring in the northern hemisphere is in 19 days.
What the temperature is outside. I found that the Google Assistant gives me the ability and freedom to do a lot of different things. I could be watching TV and then ask it any sort of things. Some of the new stuff which I have, which I'm absolutely loving, I just got myself the thermostat. That was a birthday present, but my mom has the thermostat and the doorbell. Now you're saying, well, how does that affect you? Well, we are all hooked up in the one ecosystem with the Google Assistant, and that ecosystem I have on my phone. So the big thing about that came about when one day there was somebody who was dropping off something, and I think it was perishable, but she needed to go out someplace. I needed to do one of these videos, and I had no way of doing anything until the person arrived between 2 and 4, and Mom was at a doctor's appointment. So the only way for me to hear her doorbell is to actually go over there and sit between the hours of 2 and 4. With this new whole system, I can just set up her doorbell so that when it goes off, it will hit one of my
Someone's at front door.
It will ring over on one of my things over here, one of my minis, or the Google Home Hub that I have in my bedroom. It will then flash up on one of those, and suddenly I can have all of that information right then and there. It will announce that someone's at the door, which is really handy. It's especially handy when it comes to getting packages and those sort of things. So that really does help a lot, and I mean an absolute lot, because when you think about multifamily living, or if you have an older person who you are not necessarily taking care of, but you're looking after, think about being able to control some of their devices or some of the things that they would have in their house. Things like everything from locks to heating, and it's not that you're going to lock them out of their house, because that's ridiculous, but no, it's more one of those things of, I can talk to my mom from one place to another using the broadcast. That is very handy. Now there are other assistants or smart home devices that will do this, but I can only address what I have. This is what I have. I have the Google Assistant, and so like she can call me to dinner, we can talk to each other, we can use it as a way of communicating like that. One of the big things is she can call home from her phone to the assistant, and I can hear her. I mean, we use this all the time, but it's not the only piece of technology that we use. I am a big YouTube watcher, not just creator, but I watch a lot of YouTube. And I watch it on my Chromecast, which I can also control through my Google Home. I can control it through my Google Assistant. You're seeing where this is going, aren't you? It is amazing what I can do with this, because then I can set up a whole bunch of, well, I'm going to watch this TV show, or I'm going to watch this. And the Google Chromecast has all of my paid subscriptions all in one place. That's very nice. I'm not searching for 10 million different things to see what shows I have available. It knows me. It understands me. It knows what I like to watch. So what else do I do? The biggest thing that I use this for are lights. Turning on and off lights in my house is a big thing, especially things for, if you've seen my sleep video, you can click that card. I use the nightlight function all the time. I mean, like, all the time. When it comes to when we leave the house to pick up groceries, well, I mean, at one point we'll be able to leave the house again, but when we go someplace, it will change the heating. So it's set up so that I can drop down the heating for when it is supposed to. I'm not here, so I don't need to keep the temperature at a cool whatever or at a warm whatever. I can drop it down to just the bare minimum that I need. Also, the thing about this, which originally started the whole light thing, was way back when Mom would go out, and to make it look like somebody was at her house, I would have to do things like keep going over there and turning on and off lights, that sort of thing. Or if I forgot to turn off a light that I'd turned on, that way it doesn't make it seem like her house is abandoned while she's gone. I can now do this completely and totally on my phone, or the Google the Home Assistant can also do this for me and make it look like there is somebody in her house, which is great. I love the ability to be able to change her thermostat. So there was a couple times when, like, she was like, oh, she didn't like the exact setting. Now she has figured this out really quickly, and I mean, like, picked it up super fast, so now she controls it herself. But she's able to do all of those things through the assistant, and it's really nice, and I mean, that makes life so much easier. So that's the technology, those are the pieces of it that I use a lot. However, there's also the big door. Remember I mentioned how the doorbell thing? I personally do not have the doorbell as of recording this. By the time this goes out, which is probably a few weeks from the time I recorded this, I will have the doorbell, and I will use that, because I've found that the big thing is, in our neighborhood, there is a lot of activity, and sometimes you'll hear things, or you'll wonder what's going on, or you'll just want to be nibby with the neighbors and see what's going on, and you can look and see the camera. It also records things. It records people who actually come up, so that way you do have some information. We are set up for noises like glass breaking, that sort of thing, so that way we do have a record of what's going on that's saved and all that fun stuff. Of the devices that I have, and you'll also notice that these lights, which you see behind me, the two lights are Whiz lights. The other light that you see is also a Whiz, but it's a Whiz lamp. Those are all controlled through the assistant. I can adjust the level of the lights, all those things. But these are the technology things that I actually truly use. This is not the cute technology that it's just like, well, I bought it, I don't use it. The home hub that I have next to my bed, and I use that mainly as a clock. Yeah. Now, in my sleep video, I did talk about the fact that I listen to sleep meditations. I listen to those mainly on my phone, and then I have my light so that it fades down at night. It's a great thing to have. I can control all those things, and you're saying, well, why don't you just listen to that on your home hub? There's a reason. The reason is most people record these things with video. The video is not dark, and also I like to know what time it is, so that way this does not interfere with that. It does not. I can have the audio going, the phone is off, the phone's dark, it's not causing light to come into my room, it's not keeping me up at night. When it's over, when the video's over and the room is dark. Everything is perfect. But like I said, this is the technology that I honestly and truly use throughout my house, throughout my day. Not just the technology that I think is fun, but this is things that I have that I use. Eventually you will hear me talk about the vacuum, because Mom does have one of the iRobot vacuums that she uses, and I'm going to be getting one soon, but we don't have that right now. This is so good for people who have multi-generational families or families that you might be taking care of somebody or not taking, I mean, like I said, not taking care of somebody, but you're sort of keeping an eye on somebody someplace else. You can just check on them or talk to them through that. And the big thing is, if mom ever needed help, she could literally broadcast that she needs help and I can hear her and be right over there in seconds. So what do you think about that? Let me know down in the comments if you want me to go deeper into some of these things, because like I said, I use them all the time, and I'm saying like I said all the time now. Okay, I'll find something else. But I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought about that, and I hope I get to see you the next time you stop by.